He told my wife and I that black people are not welcome in his establishment and that I can leave and I'm barred from his restaurant. I'm down here in Myrtle Beach at Salt and Honey. I was so excited to get here because it's a TikTok sensation. I heard that the food was extremely good. And so my wife and I, we visit here, right here, Salt and Honey. And we ordered our food. My wife ordered a steak and eggs, and I ordered some eggs Benedict. And my wife sent back the steak because it wasn't cooked to her liking. So when the waitress took it back to the kitchen, the chef said that's the way it's supposed to be, and they brought the same plate back to our table and said you just have to eat it. That's the way it's supposed to be. Who heard of anything doing like that? That's so health department. That's health department regulations, and I need to call health department on. You don't do that. If it's not cooked to my specification, then you need to prepare it the way that we asked for it. But that wasn't the topic, guys. The owner of the restaurant came to the table and said he Googled how a medium well steak is supposed to look, and that's the way it's supposed to look. And so after we were not satisfied, the owner of Salt and Honey down here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, he told my wife and I that black people are not welcome in his establishment and that I can leave and I'm barred from his restaurant. We cannot continue to support establishments in Myrtle Beach or anywhere else that does not welcome black people and their money. The only thing he had to do was remake the steak. But this gentleman told me that my wife and I was not welcome in his restaurant, that black people play with his money too much. Just wanted to let you guys know that.
All right. Salt and Honey Grill, Myrtle Beach. Okay. I'm gonna tell first we gonna do it like this. All right, we gonna go with what you say. We gonna say that what you said is the way it all happened, and these are the facts. Okay. Your wife orders a steak. She orders it medium well. First red flag. So then she sends the steak back. Sends something back. That's the second red flag. Okay. So you send the steak back, and they bring it back to you, the same steak, and say that that's how it's supposed to be. Okay. So now, I used to work in a restaurant, a few restaurants. I used to wait tables. I used to bartend, all that good stuff. I never worked in the kitchen, but because I worked in the restaurant, I'm always in the kitchen. So I've had situations at my table where, customers have sent food back. But I'll tell you this. Out of my almost 10 years in the service industry, I never got a bunch of non-black people sending back food. Okay. I never got a bunch of complaints about how the food was prepared by a bunch of non-black people. Now, I'm not saying that, that this guy is wrong. I'm not saying that. But what I will say is this. Anytime I have had my own people in the restaurant sending stuff back, and we can be a problem. I remember one time this lady took and changed the entree of this one menu item, and she changed so much about it that it wasn't even the same menu item again. You know what I mean? I've seen the attitudes where, oh, this ain't cooked right. No, take that back. Take that off my check, or take that back. I've seen all of that. But what I don't see that from is a lot of like non-black people. You know what I mean? My people are difficult to work with. And then, did you catch the last part of what he said? The owner said, black people play with my money too much. So I won't say, I'm not taking the owner's side. Okay. But I know this also, when a situation like this happens, whoever's telling the story, they tend to do a little embellishing. You know what I mean? They tend to add a few things. You know what I mean? So, just going by what he says, this guy right here, He says that the owner said that black people are not welcome in his establishment. Okay. Well, here's the thing about that. We need to understand, number one, that there are enough non-black people to support this business. Okay. You don't have to patronize his business. Okay. Black people, stop running to spend your money for everything you see on TikTok. My lady friend, she's a TikTok addict. She's on TikTok all day and buying stuff. You feel me? But yo, just because it's a TikTok trend, that don't mean it's for everybody. Apparently, number one. Number two, back to the way things are handled in restaurants between restaurant managers, restaurant owners, whoever's in charge, and the way they have to handle things between with customers, okay, and guests in their restaurant. A lot of times it's your approach. You know what I mean? A lot of times, you're you're at the table with an attitude. You're already gonna send it back, but how you gonna send it back with an attitude? Are you gonna trust how it's gonna come back? I wouldn't, especially not if I'm gonna send it back with an attitude. And another thing, okay, like when I was working at Walmart, I was the service writer. I had this black couple come up in an old beat up Lexus truck, and let me give you all the way how it went down, because I'm going to explain how, I'm pretty sure the way this guy is explaining it to us now isn't the way it, I'm pretty sure his attitude and his energy now is not what the attitude and the energy was when he was in the restaurant. So this is what happened to me when I was working at Walmart. Okay, I'm the service writer. This beat up Lexus truck pulls up. The lady's driving, the guy's on the passenger side. All right. I'm looking at this guy. I ain't even gonna judge him right now. But anyway, so I'm getting them written in for an oil change. And so as soon as and people like to do this at service centers. They like to tell you what's wrong with the car after you done checked them in. And the reason why they do that is because they know if they tell you what's wrong with the car while you checking them in, you probably would decline to give them service. You feel me? So, and that's not cool on their part. Okay, so when I get done checking them in, she said, I tell her, okay, I'll take the car down. So she goes, oh yeah, you can't cut it off. But if you cut it off, you have to lift up the hood and take that battery cable off so the battery don't go dead. Now here's the thing about that. If I have to modify or do anything to your vehicle in order to pull it into the pit for them guys to work on it, I have to let the technicians know. Okay, and then it's their choice whether or not they choose to work on your broken vehicle at any risk to themselves. Okay, so this is all I say. I say, okay, ma'am, just give me 1 second. Let me run in and check with my technician. So the guy, he was already over there mumbling and grumbling, and like when I was actually getting her checked in, I was asking her about the mileage on the vehicle. He over there, oh man, they ain't did all that the last time I was here. Okay, so evidently you wasn't even driving last time you was here, because you would have knew we do all of that. There's no way I could check you in without getting mileage on your vehicle and all that stuff, because they have to know what the mileage is in order to put the new sticker in the window for your oil change for the next time. Okay, so he was already acting stupid. So when I said I was going to go and check with the technician, let him know what's going on, dude, he cold jumps out the car and start cold acting crazy. I mean, now he's talking like he's straight up gangster, but he ain't coming around that car because he's a little too over. He was overweight. He wouldn't have been okay. But anyway, he started talking crazy, talking real crazy. So now I'm at a point where I don't even want to service them. So I'm like, all right, hold on, let me go get the manager. So he's on 10. He's on 20. All right. I go get the girl. She come out. Now he's just as calm as this guy is. Explaining that to her how I'm doing too much. If that makes sense to you, family. But yeah, dude, why is you there? All right. Oh, because you saw it on TikTok. Yeah. Stay away. All right, stay away. Find you something to do. All right, find you something to do. I'll tell you what'll never happen. Okay, I'll tell you who will never refuse to service: a black restaurant. Yo, catch you on the next one.